Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm your host, Ninon de Rosa, and my co-host is AJ Dean. Sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm Ninon de Rosa, your host, and of course I've got my guests with me. I've got Stephanie and I've got Nick, and of course I've got my incredible, wonderful producer who is AJ Dean. She's amazing. Also, I've got all the audience out there. Hey, how are you out there? You are really great because you've just got us able to win a few awards, and so that's going great. The show's only been up for about a year and a couple of months, and we started this because of the pandemic. So we are able to create a show that we really weren't going to create, but here we go, and here we are, and it's amazing having all these wonderful guests. We've got Stephanie on again, and hey, Stephanie, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. I'm going to let AJ, because AJ always does this for me, she's going to introduce our guests for us.
Okay, so we have two fabulous guests. Stephanie Castellone, she is a burlesque performer. She also runs a nonprofit business called Burley Cares, and that is caring for burlesque performers and also variety show performers, and she takes care of them, and she does such a wonderful job. That's what we were talking about, you know, beautiful hearts. And then we have also Nick Payne. He is the CEO of Something Nice Entertainment, including footwear, and he's branding out. He's just branching out into all great directions. And he is also an actor and the casting director for Faces of Rap Mothers. So we're going to hear more about that. And, take it away.
I certainly will. And Stephanie, I was reading your bio and all this. You've just got, credit after credit after credit. It's just amazing. But, when AJ mentioned variety show, I'm old enough to sort of know that they were around, and the variety shows you don't really hear that word variety show anymore. And a variety, what does it mean? It means a variety of performers, a variety show, and you don't really get that much now. Why?
I think it's morphed into a couple of different things. I think it's actually being done, but maybe called different things. Like on the Strip, there's at least 2 or 3 variety shows that I can think of. Absinthe, Opium is a really good one. And then there's a new cowboy one. I can't remember the name of it. But they're kind of branded differently now. I think to kind of, I think way back in the day, it was more of an adult thing, and now I think they're trying to brand it more for more like audiences with families and stuff like that, even though Absinthe is definitely not a child show. But they're out there. They're just kind of being called different things. I actually ran a local variety show here in Vegas for over 10 years.
Really? What was it?
It was Carnival. The variety show was at the Onyx Theater, which was a little theater down off of Sahara, kind of near the Strip, literally.
Oh, I know where you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
How wonderful. So you've been there for quite a long time.
Yeah, that was my old stomping ground. That's where I got a lot of my stage time as an adult, and I worked with the owner there for many, many years. And so
oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
So Nick, do you know this young lady? Do you know Stephanie? You should.
She looks kind of familiar. We may have, you never know.
I don't. Now, Nick, I've known for quite some time. Nick and I go back. Nick came on my show, Vegas Live with Ninon, which is the show I have in town, which you're probably familiar with, Stephanie. Yeah. And he came on my show, oh, good Lord, it must be 5 years ago, because it's in the 6th year. I'm nearly finished up. November will be 6 years. So we go back some time, Nick. And it's like a child. I've watched you grow up.
That's true. That is literally over 5 years. We started 2015.
That's correct. November of 2015, I started, and you've come a long way. You came on my show, and you had this little trilby hat on, and you were dragging it around.
And I was nervous.
I didn't know you were nervous, but you didn't act. So you're pretty good.
You're my first interview. I've never done an interview. You were the very first.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that must have been really nervous. Giving a look at me, thinking, I'm gonna face this woman. But what I admire about you, Nick, is how far you have come. You've come a tremendous way. You've done so well, and you've thrived in a town where it's very, very difficult. How'd you do it?
You know what? After that first interview, the word got out And I think after your first show, I got the role for Jason Bourne as a Metro police officer.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is one of your first acting jobs?
Yeah, my first one was I sent in a headshot, and then I got a call from Julie Goldman. I had two missed phone calls, one from Julie Goldman and one from um, Mike Jones. They said we saw your picture and they knocked their socks off. Can I be? They wanted me to be Metro Police Officer for 3 days on Jason Bourne, one in Vegas.
Wow, how exciting.
Jackie Goldman is one of the biggest talent agents in town. She's just an amazing woman. You know, I've never met her and she hasn't been on my show. I gotta get her on my show. But
Julie pops her every now and then. She's a little short Jewish woman who is powerful in this business.
No, I've never met her, but I want to meet her. I managed to get Diana Davis on. Diana Davis is a very well-known columnist in town. Do you know her, Stephanie?
I don't think I do.
Oh, yeah, she writes for all the papers and writes for everything. And she's a still Jewish lady, and everybody loves her, and she's amazing. And I couldn't get her on my show, and at last I got her on my show, and she was just wonderful, amazing. But there's a lot of talent in this town, isn't there?
Yeah. And
so how do we get through it all? How do we get our work? How do we, how do we manifest?
It's crazy. Listen, after that first show with you, it went in a whirlwind, because after Jason Bourne, I got the role as a voodoo priest for Circus Fright Dome. I was a voodoo priest for 2 years. From there, it went from Kickboxer Retaliation. I met Mike Tyson. I'm in that. From there, it went to All Eyes on Me, when I saw myself on the big screen for the very first time.
Were you frightened?
Yeah, I was like,
that's me.
Yeah, that little 15 seconds of me was on. I was like, oh no. From there, I did at least 11 films, TV, podcasts, and now I have my own entertainment company, shoe company, actor, producer, and I've been back in California since like March during the pandemic. So now I've connected with Candy Struthers DeVore. She is the creator of Faces of Rap Mothers. Candy's family goes back from Will Smith, Snoop Dogg, Tina Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, Shanta Gibson, Tyrese Gibson's sister, which is my friend. So now Candy and I have our first ever Faces of Rap Mother network and Something Nice Entertainment channel, which will be premiering soon on Roku. So we have our own networking channel now.
Isn't that amazing? Talk about a testimony. I mean, that's something and it all started with one little simple interview. And
your show.
Stephanie, what have you got coming up?
Well, right now I'm concentrating a lot of my time on the Burley Cares organization. That's the nonprofit that I just started that helps retired showgirls and retired variety show performers, especially with the pandemic and the recent, upheaval with everything. We've been very busy. Unfortunately, in the last year and a half, we've lost 4 legends as well. Thankfully not to COVID, but just I think due to increased isolation and just aging. But we were able.
Did you know that Del Webb has passed?
No, who's that now?
Del Webb, yes, you're right, Del Webb.
Yeah, was he an actor or? No,
he put the shows together. He had all these events. He did everything. He helped everybody. He had a big event coming on at the.
Well, see, this is the sort of thing that I would really love to get out there, because right now we have a list of 94 people on our roster basically that would qualify for our services. So like hearing names like this, he very well could have qualified for our services, but I didn't know him. He didn't cross paths with me, and I didn't have him on my list. Most of the people I have on my list right now used to be burlesque stars. They were, from the 40s and 50s. So that's a big part of
Well,
our.
hang on a second, Stephanie. You don't look that old. What?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Definitely not young.
Well, you don't look old either. So, do you still do burlesque? Do you still dance? Do you still do that?
Yeah.
How different is it for you now? Obviously, burlesque is stripping, right? You know, you slowly get all these clothes off in a beautiful dance movement and everything else. And then the pole came along, the big pole where everybody started, you know, that sort of came along. What is the trend now as of how it works in 2021?
Well, there's all different types of subsets and variety types of burlesque. I'm actually more towards the variety end, as my original facet is circus. So I kind of combine both. And I also like and tend to make most of my acts comedic, because that's really what the original word of burlesque is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a farce, or, you know, to make fun or poke fun. So there's supposed to be a comedic element to it, but as it's evolved, you see all different types now. Like you have the classic where you have these really, you know, Dita Von Teese, gorgeous gowns. You've got people like myself who combine circus. You have people who do, I mean, there's even a whole subset called nerdlesque, where they make acts where it's all nerdy and
nerdy. Oh, you become a nerd. But so it has changed a lot.
A lot. Yeah, it's really grown in the sense where it's combined different things and has taken more themes on. A lot of the shows now have themes. Like I'm booked for 2 shows in October in California, and they're both obviously, you know, Halloween dark themed. So the shows take on kind of like their own theme for the evening, and then the acts are based around that. So,
so Nick, when are you going to become a burlesque dancer?
What? Never. ever.
Well, couldn't you kind of do a little dance with those incredible shoes that you've actually brought to life? He's invented these shoes, and they're fabulous.
Yeah, I danced on Soul Train for 3 years in the 90s. That's as much dance that I was going to do. I'm in over 7 music videos to this day on YouTube, and now I got over 65 pairs of shoes. So now I'm getting ready to produce at least 3 television shows, and I've got brand new Roku. I get to play shows on my new channel network on Roku starting next month.
That's amazing. You know how many people want to be on Roku? Everybody wants to be on this Roku.
The joke is, every time I come on the show, she said, every time you come on, you got something new. This time I have a Roku channel after 5 years because of you.
So now you can have my show on your channel. How cool is that? So now you can help me out. Isn't that what it's all about, Stephanie?
Yes, absolutely.
It's all about helping everybody. You know, I help you, you help me. NinonSpeaks is we like to help people. What can we do for you, Stephanie? What can we give a shout out on? What can we do?
I just think in general that Burley Cares exists now. Anybody can go to burleycares.com. That's our website.
How do you spell that so people understand the name?
Yeah, Burley, BurleyCares. So Burley Cares.
It's on her necklace. That's your necklace?
Yeah, that's my necklace too. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh, cool. Yeah. You noticed that, Nick. Yeah.
Burleycares.com. We're a 501c3. We're a nonprofit organization, certified nonprofit. We got our status last June, so in 2020. And we're just really trying to get the word out on what we do. We really try to meet the needs of this population as much as we can. We do run completely right now on volunteers. I have a board of 3 women and myself, and we're basically doing everything we can. And mainly what we like to do is make sure that this population of people have their basic needs, you know, food, clothing, housing. We've helped a number of women with housing. So we want to make sure that their basic needs are met, and then if and when they should decline in age and health, they get hooked up with the proper channels and proper organizations to help them.
And I think go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and then we work with a number of different organizations in town that we always work with and we always refer to because we trust them and we know they're going to give good care. So it's really a tight knit group of people that do all this.
And it's funny you're doing this, because I don't think people realize that Vegas, they always think it's like the young people floating around and everything else. But Vegas started many years ago with a lot of these very well-known stars, and they're still in Vegas, but they've been forgotten. And people don't know about all who they are. And there's many, many, many of them that maybe not have had a famous name, but at the same time, they were famous. And as you say, we don't want to forget them. They gave us their talent. They gave us their stuff. So now it's our turn to give back. Do you do any charity work at all, Nick? Do you? Because you could help with this, Stephanie.
Yeah, you know what? With everything I'm doing now, especially with this television platform, I plan on doing everything possible, because that was my whole goal, to give back all these years. So now I get to do it on a platform over 50 million people on Roku.
Oh, I like that. So you two need to get together and just see who you can help, because everybody, especially with the pandemic and the older generation, we all had a bit of a disaster.
You know, I'm all about giving back. You know that. And like this, for the Face of the Rap Mothers Network and Something Like the Entertainment Channel, I'm on the board of directors. So you're gonna go to my network on Roku. That's coming from me.
Absolutely.
I'm saying it live on your show. I'm telling you, right in your face, I'm knocking your socks off. You going to Roku, we're gonna talk about it.
I love it. I did want to mention one thing. Georgette wanted me to mention that Stephanie is going to be in her burlesque lady gangster film, and I wanted to mention that and just say hi, Georgette. I know we're thinking of
you. Georgette. Georgette is a wonderful woman in town. You know what? Let's give Georgette a shout out. Thank you, AJ, for bringing her name up, because this woman is definitely not forgotten. She's like a lot of us. We're getting older, but we're not forgotten. She's always out there helping other people and doing whatever she can do for other people. She got Stephanie on the show, so Stephanie can put out her organization and we can help there. So it's all about helping each other. But Georgia, I think, AJ, aren't we kind of in the movie as well? Are we still in?
Yes, and so I'm excited, Stephanie. Stephanie, we're all gonna be lady gangsters or something like that in her movie. Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah, she was telling me all about it yesterday.
Yeah, now we've got to get Nick in there. We've got to get Nick in the movie now. He's an actor.
And Nick has a trilby, right? Does Nick have a trilby to wear?
He looks like a gangster. I can tell you, the first time he came on my show, I thought, oh, there's a gangster here.
A fedora hat, so I got the gangster. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, he's got the whole thing going. Stephanie, how can anybody reach you?
You can go to burleycares.com or burleycares@gmail.com. I'm trying to think. I'm on Facebook under my stage, both names actually, my regular name and my stage name. I think those are the easiest ways to reach me. I'm pretty easy to get in touch with. Most people know.
I know, because your resume was quite amazing. Shout out a couple of names of people you've worked for. You've worked some pretty big.
Yeah, well, I've been a performer and an entertainer since I was 6. So I've been doing this. I've been on the stage a really long time, and I came to Vegas in 2004, and my specialties in circus are contortion and aerial. So those are, and I actually still work as a contortionist and aerialist, just haven't been getting a lot of work because of the pandemic. Although I've had 4 gigs, so I think that's pretty cool.
That's cool. That's great.
I know, that's good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've done shows for Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Property Brothers. I've met a lot of Paris Hilton. I mean, I've done many shows and private parties, and met a lot of people. And then myself and Penny Wiggins she's someone you might want to interview. She's great. Penny is the assistant to Amazing Jonathan, who used to be a comedian, who was a comedian magician and big in the 80s. I mean, on every TV network. I mean, he was really great. His whole act is good. She was his sidekick, and so she's a clown. And her and I have done variety shows for many years, and we had an all-female variety show called Shenanigans. And we've done, we did it. I think we had 4 shows, and each one just got better. And Penny, I know, really wants to do it again, just the pandemic and everything. But an all-female variety show, I mean, there isn't one right now, and so it really, celebrates femininity and female power and all that good stuff. So we had a ton of fun doing it. We had a ton of great outcome when we did it. But Penny's somebody that's also been around a really long time, and we work a lot together. So.
Also, Stephanie, now you have a little different background. We've got all this comedic stuff going, all this great fancy stuff out there and everything. You are actually a nurse.
Yes, I went to college for 4 years right after high school because my mom really, really wanted me to go.
She wanted you to have a back. She wanted to make sure you always make money.
She was just she still can't watch me do my things sometimes because of what I do, like, you know, going up in the air and stuff. Like she can't watch it. So
come down again.
Yeah, she's just like, no, you know.
In the right way.
Well, and the other thing was I was really lucky and I had gotten a scholarship, so she really, really wanted me to go. So I went to nursing school. So I went to State College in Rhode Island where I grew up, and tiny state, the tiniest in the country. But after I was done, I knew I was like, this is too boring.
I need my entertainment life. I don't want to
exactly. So
be on that stage.
I made my way out here, and I always did both. I worked full time most of the time as an RN and a hospice. That was my specialty for a very long time. Yeah. So that's kind of how I'm able to run Burley Cares, because I really know my way around the system. I know when someone's starting to decline. I know what they need as they decline. So this is kind of like, and I've always wanted to combine both my worlds.
It's kind of worked one in one, hasn't it? What about you, Nick? Nick, have you, what has your career been? Has it been always an actor?
No, I started out working as a bag boy for Vons. I've done customer service, Walmart, unloader. I've installed windows. I've done warehouse work. So I've retail, customer service all my life. I also went to school for a medical assistant, cardiac tech, EKG, and phlebotomy. I went to school for that here in LA.
Really? So, because there's always a background to everybody that's in the entertainment business, and it's quite fascinating what it is and why it is. Because a lot of people, because they can't get the work in Vegas or whatever town they're in, they always have to have another job. So there's always this other job that they always have to keep themselves going. AJ, did you want to ask Nick? We have our Nick had a question.
Yes, Nick, you're doing so many different things and they're exciting projects. What are you most proud of?
I think the best thing was to be in the movie All Eyes on Me. We filmed it. It was based on the year Tupac died in Vegas. So to be a part of that and to be seen in that movie, that was big. That set the chain of that set it off from there. That was Pac.
Yeah.
And actually, like early, like when Troop came out with Mamacita, All This Think of You, John took me to a club in LA and I met Pac in the back. I shook his hand years ago. I was like 20 something.
That's amazing. You guys are beautiful memories.
Yeah.
Beautiful memories. AJ, you want to ask Stephanie something? I know you have.
Yes, Stephanie. So you met Beyonce. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What fun was it to perform for her? What did you do?
Well, that's your favorite, isn't it, AJ? That you absolutely.
Oh, is it? You know
AJ adores Beyonce.
Well, they were probably out of the most famous people that I've performed for, the most humble. They were a lot of fun. And what was really funny is I was booked for that gig, and the person who booked me for it, I worked for many times before. And so I just thought it was like another corporate event. I'm going to show up here. But a couple days before, I got an email and it said, this private event is for someone very famous, and we can't tell you who it is right now, but please do not, we're going to collect your phones at the beginning of the night. I mean, I'm like, holy cow, who is this, right? So there was at least 7 or 8 of us, because it was basically like a circus theme for a private party for them. I don't know if it was one of their birthdays, but the whole family was there. And we didn't know until we actually got into the green room who it was. And I was like, it was crazy because it was very intimate. It was like their family and really close friends, basically. So it was one room, and there was their table, and it was them. It was Beyonce, JC at the head, and then obviously like their close family members around them. And one of the girls came back right before I was going on, and she's like, they're right there. And I was like, they're right in front of you. And I was like, what? You know, like I was thinking they would be set back,
funny.
would be on the stick, but it was very intimate. It was really nice though. And the act I did at the time, it was contortion act. I went down at the end and picked up a flower with my teeth and came back up. And it, you know, you can make it a little, you know, scary and stuff, which is what we do. And I just remember Beyonce and Jay-Z being like, oh my God, like the whole time they didn't think that I was going to be able to come back up, you know, and it was really cool. Like they were just really humble. And I really enjoyed working for them because they were, you know, all the other famous people I've worked for, it's like they're too busy to kind of even. Yeah.
Did you put something special on for them? Did you try? Obviously, you tried your hardest to get your best out there, but did you really try?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. We have like contortion costumes and hair and everything was dialed in. Oh yeah, it was very professional. Yeah.
So it was one of your greater performances.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I think, you know, I've done a lot of different things and, you know, when I do stuff for famous people, it's always, I don't know, her whole thing was not, I felt very connected and like intimate in that setting. Yeah, but most of the time it's very kind of like, just, there's a lot going on. And I mean, I remember I did a big show for Gangnam Style. The guy that does Gangnam Style, I can't remember his name. But he had a huge birthday. I think it was like his 40th birthday party or something. I mean, there was every A-list actor on the planet at this event. And,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I was in the air the whole time. So it was kind of like, you know, oh, there's that. And there's, you know, Leonardo.
Oh, that is down there.
Yeah, oh, there's what's his name, you know. So, so a lot of times with big names like that, you're just kind of disconnected almost, you know, and you might get to shake hands with them, but, you know, with her, it was nice. They really appreciated what we did. They came up to us at the end. I mean, they were just really, really sweet people. So yeah, AJ, she's one of my favorite people too. I really like her. She's incredibly talented. Her last album that she put out, I absolutely is one of my most favorite albums in like the last 3 or 4 years. Like,
yes, me too, same.
Her Homecoming album, and I keep telling some of the girls I know that are by POC, you know, but you got to do that show, like do a whole show of Beyonce Homecoming.
Yeah,
it would be incredible. Like I loved it. So yeah, it's
amazing. But so Nick, you know, you listen to all this and you see how far she's come and everything, and you've done exactly the same thing. You've come up, you've met with many people. Who really struck you that you really thought, oh my goodness, I want to be like that person or perform with them?
You know what? Well, like I said, I've known John Harold since I was 14.
Okay.
We went to the same boys club. So years later, he's with the multi-platinum group Troop, which means total respect of other people. So when they first came out with the song Mamacita, like in 1988, 1989, and then they came out with the remake of All I Do Is Think of You, the Jackson 5, and it went gold.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm sitting at the Burger King on Lake Avenue. He comes in, sees the back of me. He runs in, he says, Nick, we're going on tour with Hammer. I was like, what?
Wow.
So amazing. You see?
Years later, I wind up in their video, Whatever It Takes to Make You Stay. So he takes me to my very first movie premiere, which was Above the Rim, which Tupac was in. And we're sitting down, and then all these people, celebrities. So these 3 ladies in unison, they go, hi, John. And I look, he said, oh, hi, ladies. He said, this is my boy, Nick. So 3 heads turn around, and it's Taj, Lily, and Coco, SWV.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
They go in unison. They go, hi, Nick. I'm going.
What a great memory. Thank you so much, both of you, for sharing that. Nina, I'm sorry to say we have to start wrapping it up.
Okay, well, we don't ever like to wrap up because then we have to say, you know, cheerio till later on another time. Thank you to all our audience out there, of course, and thank you very much, Stephanie. You've been absolutely amazing. Nick, you've come so far. I am so proud of you from the beginning, and this is actually, well, a few things you've told me, it's not the beginning, but this certainly is the beginning for you for many avenues, and I just wish you all the best, and include NinonSpeaks, biggest live with Ninon.
Roku, of course.
And also thank you, AJ. AJ is amazing. She's my producer. She takes care of an awful lot of stuff. And between the two of us, we're making this a win-win show. And of course, as you already know, we won all these awards. And thank you so much.